Greetings and welcome to newszimbabwe.com news. I am Makanaka Masenyama. Stories making the headlines. A death toll from Cyclone Idai rises to 142. In business, finance PEMSEC Guvamatanga denies Zimbabwe's economy is fragile. And in sports, Warriors coach Chidzambwa impressed with response from his players. Now the news in greater detail. The death toll from last week's devastating Cyclone Idai that hit parts of Manicaland province has risen to 142 as of Thursday afternoon. This was revealed by Minister of Information Permanent Secretary Nick Mangwana in an interview with newszimbabwe.com. Mangwana said there was a high probability the toll may further rise and that some of the hundreds that are still missing may never be found again.
The number of Zimbabweans that are deceased as a result of Cyclone Idai is 142 people. 139 of those are in Manicaland. The normal expectation in this particular case is that we may have more Zimbabweans that will be discovered. We have heard reports of some bodies seen in Mozambique. What we are not clear about is that are those bodies of Zimbabweans or Mozambicans?
Addressing a post-cabinet media conference last Tuesday, local government minister July Moyo said the government has been inundated with reports that up to 300 bodies have been seen floating in Mozambique. The hostile weather phenomenon that hit Zimbabwe, Malawi and Mozambique, killing hundreds, is the worst in decades. Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions Secretary General Japhet Moyo has criticized President Emmerson Mnangagwa for continuously ignoring issues affecting ordinary workers in the country. Speaking to newszimbabwe.com in a wide-ranging interview on Thursday, Moyo described the new Mnangagwa administration as anti-workers.
Zimbabweans are aware that ZCTU is one of those who went to Zimbabwean grounds to march with every Zimbabwean celebrating the fall of Robert Mugabe. We did address in that gathering. So ZCTU welcomed the so-called Second Republic, which has turned out to be a nightmare. Thereafter, we requested that let's resuscitate the structures which have been functional over a period of time that will be able to kickstart or make sure that socio-economic issues are discussed, agreed upon, that can be able to propel the country forward. We have not had any engagement with the state since then.
The ZANU-PF-led administration has adamantly rejected demands by the country's restless workforce for US dollar wages or poverty determined line-pegged salaries if paid in local currency. Namibia's Home Affairs Minister has slammed Zimbabweans and other foreign nationals he said were in the tendency of entering into marriages of convenience with his compatriots in order to secure Namibian citizenship. Speaking during his annual address to Home Affairs staff in Windhoek recently, Frans Kapofi said his country was not for sale. According to Namibian media, Zimbabweans and Angolans top the list of foreign nationals entering in marital unions with locals. Millions of Zimbabweans have fled their country in recent years, mostly to regional countries due to recurrent economic and political instability in Zimbabwe. A United Nations survey has ranked Zimbabweans number 11 among world's unhappiest people. The revelations came out through a report released to mark this year's International Happiness Day on Wednesday. Strangely, fellow SADC countries such as Botswana and Malawi have been ranked worse than Zimbabwe, despite them enjoying more stable economies than their troubled neighbor. Other world countries ranked worse than Zimbabwe are Haiti, Syria, Yemen, Rwanda, Tanzania, Afghanistan, Central African Republic, and South Sudan. The survey uses 6 variables to explain the variation of happiness in the world countries, and these include a country's GDP per capita, social support, healthy life expectancy, freedom, generosity, and an absence of corruption. According to the report, which uses data from 2016 to 2018, Zimbabweans' unhappiness comes from government's continued failure to provide basic social support services to the majority. In business, Permanent Secretary in the Finance Ministry, George Govamatanga, has argued that Zimbabwe's economy is not fragile but on a transition. Govamatanga was responding to a question on whether Zimbabwe could be classified as a fragile economy during an African Economic Research Consortium Senior Policy Seminar in Harare on Tuesday. The former top banker was adamant the current economic turbulence was a result of measures being implemented by government under its Transitional Stabilization Program. The controversial government austerity has seen prices shoot through the roof, heightening fears of another economic upheaval last witnessed during the 2008 hyperinflationary period. In sports, Warriors coach Sandy Chidzambwa is impressed with how his players have responded to training session ahead of their final Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Congo Brazzaville. The crunch match will be played at the National Sports Stadium on Sunday, with Zimbabwe needing to avoid defeat to earn a ticket to the continent's most competitive football tournament in Egypt this June. Chidzambwa had the first opportunity to see all his charges in action on Tuesday. To end this news bulletin, here's a recap of headlines once more. Death toll from Cyclone Idai rises to 142. In business, Finance PEMSEC Govamatanga denies Zimbabwe's economy is fragile. And in sports, Warriors coach Chidzambwa impressed with response from his players. Reporting for newszimbabwe.com, I am Makanaka Masenyama. For this and more stories, do visit our website www.newszimbabwe.com and our YouTube channel Zim TV.